Hello there, people of the internet. Normally whenever I bring you guys stories, it's from, a gun shop or, something that I was discussing with a friend of mine or something like that. But actually, I was on a hunting trip, this was a couple of months ago at this point, and I forgot all about it until a buddy I was with ended up reminding me about it. But I was on a hunting trip, and the area that we were hunting, it was a wildlife management area. And the wildlife management area has this long dirt road that goes out to the area itself. And the dirt road comes out to a main road. And there's a parking lot over by the main road. So people can either drive down that dirt road or, stop on the main road and go off and into the woods and do whatever it is that they're doing. So we stop off on this parking lot. And there was actually a group of 3 guys. And they were arguing with one another. Not like arguing like hateful, like I'll kick your ass arguing. But they were talking with each other on what the ideal rifle would be for handling all sorts of situations. And what had happened was there was a young man, probably about my age or so, and he was out there with an AR-10 in .308. And I mean, it was a camouflaged AR-10. He had some sort of a long rifle optic on it. It was definitely set up for hunting purposes. It had that 5-round magazine inside of it, and it was clear that he was going to be using that as his hunting rifle. Well, your opposition to him, they were elderly gentlemen, and they were very NRA oriented. They each had a brand spanking new NRA hat on, and they had the polo shirt. It was a bright orange polo shirt. They were each matching with their outfits. Bright orange polo shirt. They had a shooting vest over it, and then they had cargo shorts on. And they were they were elderly gentlemen, and they were talking about how your bolt action rifles were like the pinnacle of technology, and your automatic stuff was absolutely not the way to go. And I remember one of them saying the 1903 Springfield was the best firearm ever made in all of existence. So, yeah. Normally I see them lean towards old semi-automatics like the M1 Garand and things like that, but I guess not in this case. Of course, to be fair, I didn't exactly stick around for very long to listen to that conversation. But it was very clear that they did not like the AR-10 that this guy had. I don't think this guy was affiliated with them at all. I think that he had just shown up there, and then these guys start harping on him for what he had there. So, yeah, I just kind of proceeded on my way with that one. But it kind of got me thinking to myself, hey, you know what would make a fun idea for a video? Talking about what your ideal rifle would be. So what would be the ideal rifle? Something to handle as many situations as possible, while at the same time something that is not overly expensive in the ammunition, is easy to find, and insert choice of excuse here. You guys are gun guys. Y'all get the idea of what the ideal rifle would be. Something easy to clean and maintain, something you can get ammo for, something that is powerful enough to take care of the things that are around you, while not powerful enough to completely destroy those things in case you want to use it for hunting purposes and whatnot. And I think a lot of that has to lean towards the idea that there is no perfect, one rifle fits absolutely everybody kind of system. Now, in my opinion, I would say that the AR platform is probably going to be your more perfect rifle for all of your situations, simply because you can very easily swap out calibers for a multitude of different calibers with a simple barrel swap. If you are going after some small game like coyotes or something like that, well, like larger small game, then a 223 would be able to handle basically all of those. If you want to go after some really small game like some squirrels and whatnot, then you can just swap in a 22 long rifle conversion system, and now you have yourself a 22 long rifle with your AR. If you want yourself something with a bit more punch behind it, some supersonic 300 Blackout would absolutely serve your purposes. That's a 30 caliber round. If you want something with some long-range capabilities, then something like a 6.5 Grendel would be your best friend in that particular case. Like, there's a lot of really good options that you have with your AR platform, and the beauty about that platform is you're not limited to just one caliber. So I think that right there would probably be the ideal system for all of the situations. If you are in a situation where I don't know, maybe you're going to go visit some family and they're in a populated city, and you don't want some over-penetration if you have to use your firearm for practical purposes, then there's 9mm conversion kits out there for your AR platform. Pick up one of those and you got yourself, it's like a magazine inserting, a barrel swap, and a bolt swap, or bolt carrier swap, or some sort of swapping system to where you can convert your AR to a 9mm PCC, and guess what? Now you're firing some 9mm instead of some intermediate caliber cartridges, so that's definitely going to be your better option. In my opinion, that would be the best way to go. So no matter your situation, no matter what it is that you want, there's a caliber conversion for it, for the AR platform. A lot of people, whenever they think about the AR platform, they're still in that old school traditional way to where it's in one caliber and that's what you have. But the beauty about the AR is that's not the case. That's not the case. Very, very simple to swap out calibers in the AR platform. I would show you guys, but YouTube does not like firearms modifications. So normally when I talk about ARs, people automatically go to the 223 and they're like, it's underpowered, or I don't like it, or insert thing here. And I'm like, guys, you can have one AR and like 5, 6, 7, 8 different calibers for that AR that you can swap those out nice and simply for what it is that you're doing. So that being said, that would be my idea for, the most perfect practical rifle, especially because you can get them with all sorts of rail systems, and if you want a telescoping stock or a fixed stock, if you want, there's just all sorts of customization that you can do with that particular platform. If you want iron sights or optics, you can go for that. If you want white light, infrared, laser light, whatever muzzle device you want, whatever kind of system that you want, you can go for that. It really is an incredibly modular platform. However, that being said, there are some situations where maybe that would not be your ideal rifle. Maybe you are some sort of special case, and having yourself an AR platform with a bunch of different calibers and capabilities would not be what you want. I don't see how there's a single instance where that would be the case. We're not talking about sexiness of the rifle. The AR platform is definitely not one of the better looking rifles in my personal opinion. There's definitely some better looking rifles out there. But that being said, it doesn't matter if you want, a nice 24-inch barrel, or a nice 16-inch barrel, or something with a long length of pull or a short length of pull, or if you want to customize your hand grip, or if you want to customize the ergonomics of the rifle, or if you want to do whatever you want to that rifle, including change out the calibers to whatever it is that you need, then that would be a good way to go. But if you are leaning towards, something that's not the AR platform, then there is no one size fits all for you guys. Like, for example, this right here is a Mini 14. There's a lot of people out there who absolutely despise the AR platform, so they'll get something like this right here. This is also chambered in 223-556. And it's a semi-automatic platform. This particular one has one of those scary looking magazines that comes down to the bottom of the rifle. This particular one is 5 round. We got 5 rounds inside of it. Of course, since it's external, you can get whatever size magazine you want for this thing. So there's another, that's a popular one that people go to whenever they're wanting something beyond just using a AR platform. I know that the Mini 14 is definitely a popular one because it's legal in all 50 states if you get one without any features on it. It doesn't have a pistol grip on it, doesn't have a telescoping or folding stock on it. If you get one that has a 10-round magazine inside of it and, no muzzle device of any sort and whatnot, and it's just a very unassuming looking rifle. So people freak out a lot less over it than they would over something like an AR platform, despite the fact that this right here still sends at 223 lead downrange very rapidly. I got a cow right there, so instead of shooting at the car, I'm just going to go ahead and shoot at the dirt that I have right there. Just like that. Look at that. Now we got Kevin screaming in the background, but that's a good option if you want yourself a intermediate rifle for whatever situations it is that you're looking for. If you want something to take out coyotes on the farm, or if you want something to have for personal protection that isn't an AR platform, I won't exactly take it up to Alaska and go hunting elk with it, but I don't know what your situation is. If you are going to go up to Alaska and go elk hunting, you might want something a little bit more powerful. This right here is a Turkish Mauser with some Turkish 8mm Mauser ammunition. This right here is full metal jackets, and this is 155 grain projectiles traveling at about 3,000 feet per second. So that's going to be some spicy ammunition going downrange, and this is definitely much more suited. All right, our cows have moved on. Much more suited to taking out some larger stuff. So if you are going to go after larger stuff, maybe having yourself something like this would be the better option. That poor car. You know what? I got a couple more rounds of this 8mm Mauser stuff. I may as well send some of this downrange. See, I recently fixed up this rifle to get it to be able to run this Turkish stuff. I was having issues with pressure sticking with this stuff, and the extractor would jump over it, so I got a new extractor, and I fine-tuned the ejector a little bit. And now, look at that. Look at how well that ejects that Turkish stuff. So now I have to clean this rifle because that was corrosive. But if you're going to go after larger stuff, then having a more powerful rifle would probably be ideal. Or if you are, like I said before, in a city or something like that, maybe a nice PCC would be the way to go, because over-penetration would be an issue. I really like PCCs, especially ones in 9mm. The ammunition is nice and cheap. You can get 2 to 3 rounds of full metal jacket 9mm for the same price as like every one round of a 223 5.56. I know as of right now, you can pick up a case of 1,000 rounds for $250 for this thing. So that is a good option to go, especially if you're not going to be engaging any distances or any targets at any long distances. So in the case of my gun range here, we're at about 40 yards. It works. It sends lead down range. And once you're out, you pull out a magazine, grab your other one that you have loaded because you have more than one magazine, unlike me, and send that lead down range. Now, if I were to pick a rifle that was not what's the word I'm looking for? A rifle that's not an AR, but like I was stuck with one caliber, like basically all the other rifles out there, right? If I was stuck with one caliber out of a rifle, I would probably go with something that was 7.62 NATO. I would go with an automatic platform myself. However, I do not have an automatic platform for 7.62 NATO, so I went ahead and I just brought out my Ovino Mauser. The one reason why I would go with 7.62 NATO is because I am a reloader, and this right here is some reloaded ammunition, and this is a 150 grain projectile. However, it has been undercharged, so as a result, this 150 grain projectile is going to be traveling at about, rough estimations, 2,300, 2,400 feet per second, somewhere in that ballpark, versus a standard stock, this right here is actual M80 ball ammo. This right here is a 150 grain projectile traveling about 2,800 feet per second or so. It mimics the M2 ball 30-06. So this is a much more hard-hitting round than the underloaded ammunition that I have loaded for hunting purposes. Because here in the state of Florida, deer only get to be about 150 pounds, and a full loaded M80 ball round is just a little bit too much to be able to, not destroy a bunch of meat on the deer. So, oh goodness, yep, that was definitely quite the impact of a round. I even got a little bit of pressure sticking on this one. However, if I swap over to my undercharged cartridge here, and I go to my appropriate adjustments, this right here is a much less powerful round that does not hit the target nearly as hard. So thanks for watching, folks. Appreciate your time. Like, subscribe, share. Description below has a link to all sorts of stuff. Go and go check that out. You guys go off, have yourself a fantastic day. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you all in the next episode.
Been a little while since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. Poor man's Garen. It's a shame that bolt-action shotguns aren't more mainstream.